All right, everybody, I want to thank you for taking time on your day and coming on the webinar today. If you haven't seen the Medicare Center yet, this is quite a tool, and we're privileged to have Justin McBee, the basically inventor of the Medicare Center. I know we have a huge career shop here that does a ton of Advantage plans, PDPs, and they said they could never do that without the help of this tool. So I think you're going to like it. It's a very great intuitive tool that'll really help you through all the process of selling the Advantage plans and the PDPs. And without more ado, I'm just going to pass it over to Justin. Like I said, he's a big part of this plan. He's been working on it and tweaking it, and he's got it darn near down to perfection. So, Justin, thank you for taking time out of your day and coming on. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I'll go mute also.
Alrighty, I appreciate it. Seriously, thanks for your time today. So what we're going to do is go in through Medicare Center. Medicare Center is going to show you how you can quote and enroll through one system as opposed to going through multiple carrier portals, etc. What we'll do is do a deep dive into the tool, show you how the system works, and also go through what an enrollment would look like. I will say today the site launched for 2020. I am looking at the 2020 site as you are as well. So with that being said, we're really, as we speak, and transition to the 2020 site. So we may experience some glitches, issues, things like that. I can promise you it will not happen going, well, let's hope I can promise you it won't happen going forward, at least not a major issue. So if we see those things today, just bear with me. This is the 2020 site. Pretty simple login screen here. Your username and password is provided to you. We can definitely get the information credentials for you. At the end of the conversation today, I will gladly field any questions that you may have. So I will go ahead and get started. The login credential format is pretty straightforward. We have it listed right here on the login screen. Once you get logged in here, we will see what we consider the quote-unquote dashboard or control panel. So this is really where you're going to see a little bit of everything, and kind of your starting point for everything you'll do in the tool. View dashboard is what we're looking at currently. Search profiles is a way to search for any existing client that you've added to the system. Start consultation, you can highlight, asterisk, exclamation point, etc. You always want to start a consultation for a new consumer. So what this does is it creates a profile for the consumer, which therefore stores the information in the system for you, and it also carries over to the enrollment form, thus saving you and the consumer lots of time in the long run. So start a consultation, very important. Start no enrollment. This is basically bypassing start consultation, just allows you to jump to the enrollment. Again, I really highly recommend starting a consultation, especially with the new Medicare.gov debacle, quote unquote, with the whole storing of drug lists, etc. In our tool specifically, if you start a consultation, add the consumer drugs, you will always have access to that without any disruption like Medicare.gov. So with that being said, you'll see it tomorrow, next week, next month, and or next year. So important to start a consultation. Moving over to send quick quotes. Sending a quick quote, if you wanted to essentially just quickly see plans in a specific zip code, that is what I would utilize this the most for. So if we're looking for plans in this specific zip code of 15220, it will display all of the plans in that specific zip code. So just again, really quick way to see or plan check for specific plans. Up top, you're going to see a question mark with a circle. This is what we consider the walkthrough assistant. So if you ever get stuck on any section, what it's going to do is basically just give you tips and tricks as you go through the system. So that's always there up top for you. Up top, you're also going to see something labeled My Account. If you click on My Account, you're going to see two really unique things. First and foremost, in the system, you'll be able to see the selling commissions that you have. It will list out the carrier, the states for those carriers, and the plan types that you're able to sell in Medicare Center. So just a really quick way to see what you have loaded in the system and can sell. Your marketing shopping link. Your marketing shopping link is a personalized URL for each one of you as agents. So what that means is if you market this Pearl in your email signature, in your social media, etc., if a consumer clicks on your personalized URL, enrolls in the plan of their choice, you get 100% full commissions. Now, with that being said, you also are provided with an email that says, Justin McBee enrolled in Advanced or Silver plan, and then in which you can in return reach out to that consumer and kind of make them your consumer. So pretty cool stuff there. Going back to the dashboard, you will also see, once we get there, your report. So this is, again, real-time live reporting. So once you submit enrollment, it's going to show here. Once you submit the enrollment, everything you've done is done through the broker portal as it normally would be. So there's no disruption in having to go to multiple carrier sites, whether it's done through paper or Medicare Center. You always follow up through the broker portal, so nothing's disruptive there. We also offer a very brief yet effective CRM tool as well. So you'll see this momentarily, but you can track tasks and notes, where you can always display that information. Down on the bottom, of course, one of the biggest bread and butter tools here is the physician formulary and pharmacy finder. So what this is a one-stop shop to find this information. So if we wanted to search for, again, that specific zip code, it's going to label out the plans that are in that zip code. Now, instead of having to log into 6, 10, 12, 14 different carrier portals, username and passwords, that's never fun. All of this information is housed in one location. So if we're looking for a specific plan, and we wanted to find this Advanced or Silver plan, if you click on Find Physician, it directly hyperlinks to the carrier. So pretty neat stuff there. As soon as the carrier updates information, it's going to directly reflect in Medicare Center as well. So again, one-stop shop that you can find this information out here. Finding a drug, if you click on it, it does have the smart search functionality. So as you start to search, it's going to be able to populate what you're looking for. And then it's going to show up with this pretty neat hyperlink. Because some of those drugs are 50 to 60 whatever characters long, they're absolutely ridiculous. We can't even say or pronounce them. At least I can't. You can switch to the generic drug or use the name brand. So we'll just go with the name brand, make the dosage and quantity selection here. And it's going to give you the exact cost and everything. Pretty straightforward information there. And that is to do a one-off drug lookup. You're going to see momentarily, if you build a profile out with Start Consultation, you can add all of a consumer's drugs and see that information together. With the pharmacy lookup, it will give us preferred versus standard. So again, if you wanted to search for that specific plan, pretty cool. It's going to give us the preferred and standard cost shares there as well. So going back to the dashboard, one other thing before we dive into an enrollment or consultation is the enrollment status and opportunity. So what this is going to show, you can select certain dates and run that report. I always just leave it for the custom dates that it is, and you run the report. It's going to show you again some more statistics surrounding what you've sold here. But the most important thing is view started profiles. When you utilize view started profiles, it's actually going to pull your full book of business that you have in Medicare Center. So if you're looking for a renewal date, let's say after you export this list to Excel, you can filter down to your renewal dates possibly in April, May, etc., and they know exactly who you have to hit for that specific month. Additionally, it does have the plan name and confirmation number. So if you have a plan exit, which obviously you guys had a significant one last year, or those who are in Minnesota solely, you'll be able to filter out that plan and know exactly who you need to reach out to regarding that plan exit. So again, just a kind of a trackability tool that we've offered you in Medicare Center. Going back to the dashboard, we're going to go ahead and start a consultation. Also, with the reporting, we're not seeing it here. If you run the dates again, you will see some pretty cool reporting. It'll have some graphs that show you profiles versus started versus incomplete. You will also see your sales year after year, so it displays what you've done comparable to last year, which is pretty cool. And it will give you a breakdown of your sales again. So without rambling any further about Medicare Center, we'll go ahead and start a consultation. You're going to see these 7 gray tabs or white tabs up top. We're going to go through this process. So start consultation, again, is quote-unquote creating a new profile. The top 4 fields are required. However, highly recommend you go ahead and complete all of this information. It does save you a lot of time in the long run because the enrollment form will pre-populate with this information. So without with the 6,000 demos that I've done, I'm running out of names, so bear with me. So making up some information here. If there is a different contact, of course, you would hit yes and complete that, but we're going to hit no and click continue. Once we click continue, it's going to bring us to the scope of appointment tab. Now, normally the email address would complete here. Because I'm in the test site and using multiple different things here, what I'm going to do is go into Google Chrome and go through the exact same process what we just did. So nothing's going to change. It's just something on the back end why I'm having to go back and forth, which leads me to a very good point. Many question what's the best browser to use for the system. They all work the same. So understanding that you can use Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Firefox, Safari, etc., they all work the same. If you're experiencing any issues, generally speaking, and this is just a side topic that I'm aware of, you probably just need to update to the newest version of that web browser, and it should work just fine. So again, starting a consultation really quickly. And continue through. So once I click continue, as you see, the email address now pulls over. So this is going to be where you can capture the electronic scope of appointment. So if I wanted to capture the electronic scope, I would simply click email SOA. It's going to be sent to the consumer for completion. Now, new this year is very exciting. If you collect the paper scope, which you can do face-to-face, you now have the ability to upload that information. So if you wanted to have a paper scope and upload it to save on the consumer profile, you would simply just click upload, choose your file, and do such. Now we are going to do the electronic scope so you can see that process. Excuse me. So as you see, it's going to go through very quick. The email will look just like this once it populates. It's going to have a nice little picture. It's going to have a big orange button that says Complete Scope of Appointment Form. The consumer would click this form, and it's going to be a generic scope of appointment. So the products would be selected, and the consumer only has to complete the first and last name. So if they choose to complete more than that, they absolutely can. However, they only need the first and last name. By making this selection, this simply serves as the consumer's digital signature and submit that scope. You're going to get this nice little confirmation page saying it's been submitted. We can now back out. I'm the agent again. And now if I went golfing, went to go have a beer, meet friends, whatever you want to do, you can come back into the system. Or if you're on the phone with them, whatever, you simply would just reload the page. And now it's going to show the date that they created it, the plans they selected, and a very long confirmation number that's not necessary to remember because it's going to shorten anyways. So I'm the agent. I click awaiting to be submitted, and now I complete my portion very simply, pretty straightforward. And just making some things up for our demo here. By selecting this box, this now will serve as the agent's digital signature, and click Submit. Once we click Submit, you will now see the date it was submitted, the hyperlink to the confirmation number in which you can store or see the document, which it downloads to your desktop, and you will see the scope of appointment form. So pretty neat stuff. It does automatically do that for you and saves it for you. If you need access to that, right there it is. Now we're going to continue through and go to the next tab, which is going to be the Health tab. It automatically pre-populates based upon the info you put in. Continuing through to the Subsidy tab. If they're eligible or not eligible, you make that selection and continue through. And now here's where we start to build out the drug list. So again, smart search functionality. We're going to add Lipitor, use the name brand drug, add the drug. Again, just adding another drug and put that in there. Now, if whatever reason we do know it happens, a consumer says, you know what, I do take the generic drug. We always have this switch to generic for likely savings hyperlink that will automatically switch it for you, thus having, preventing you from having to remove and add it again. And we will complete the drug list. Next, we make the pharmacy selection as necessary and continue through. And next will bring us to the Compare Plans page. So the next page, we're going to be able to compare up to 3 plans. Broken out by tab here, you're going to see Medicare Advantage, PDP, etc. Let's go and grab 3 of the MAPDs. Couple random ones here. And click Compare Now. So once we click Compare Now, we're going to see a nice little layout, side-by-side comparison of the plans that we selected here. Again, you do have the pharmacy lookup here. It tells you the drugs that are covered, etc. If you wanted to see more information, you just simply would click View Details. Now at this point, we have a couple options as an agent. We can send a multi-plan quote, which is what we're looking at right now. If we knew that Cal, in this instance, wanted to enroll in the Advanced Silver plan, they would click Send Quote, which also sends the enrollment form as well. Or if you're face-to-face with an agent, you would simply utilize the Enroll button here. We are going to send the multi-plan quote, again displaying that it does pre-populate the information for you. You can customize this message here. There's a code down here on the bottom. So what this is going to be, this serves as one sole purpose, and this is to protect the consumer for HIPAA practice and privacy reasons. They're going to get 2 emails. So once we click Send Quick Quote, they're going to get the quote and the code in 2 separate emails. So I am Cal. I go to my email address here, and you see they do come through again very quickly. It's going to have your agent name with the code right here. Once it populates, and I can copy this code. My computer doesn't want me to work anymore. Just give me a second. Alrighty, so I copy this code. This will say agent wants to share health insurance options, etc. Nice little picture. They would click, again, the orange button. This one says View Quote. And then they paste this code into the box. So pretty straightforward up to this point. Once they get in here, you're going to be able to see all of the information. This is your customized message here. They can change this information if needed. Down here is the plan comparison. If they click compare these plans, they're going to see exactly what we just saw. Again, laid out pretty nicely for the consumer. We've added this little highlight feature in, so if it's highlighted yellow, that really pale yellow, that means there's something different in one of those plans. If it's white, that means it's standard across all 3 plans that you selected. Now, if we wanted to see all information pertaining to the Advanced or Silver plan, we would just simply click View Plan Details. So once this comes up, we're going to be able to see some pretty cool information. All of the information necessary, the fees, payments, co-pays, etc. The tiered drugs listed out here, providing them everything to remain compliant, summary of benefits, formulary, EOC, everything there. Has the drug cost breakdown, so if you're looking at the donut hole and want to see that monthly breakdown, you're going to be able to see that information straightforward. So pretty neat stuff. But at this point, I think that I'm Cal. I think that I want to enroll in this button. You can either click on Add to Cart, or you go back here to see all 3. You can again check the pharmacy. Just cycling through here. Back arrow. We'll get there eventually, I promise. So we can, again, select any of these plans, but we want to click on this information here. So it'll give you the cost breakdown, everything, as obviously as you see here. Again, but if you wanted to go back, you can always add to your cart, etc., continue shopping. But let's say we want to add the Advanced or Silver now. You would add it to the cart. It will replace it for you. So it won't allow you to basically put 2 plans in, which is really kind of dummy-proof and foolproof for the consumer. We're going to add this plan. And now it's, again, going to switch that for us. So I will click on Enroll Now. So I'm Consumer Cal. It's going to basically kick us out now. So we're not going to see the enrollment, of course, because this is going to open. I want to display this for one sole purpose, and this is to just show you that until 10/15, nobody can fault the system, enroll, etc. This is just the dummy-proof section. So with that being said, what I'm going to do now is go into the 2019 site so I can actually show you the enrollment really quickly. So here's the graphs and information that you'll see compiled. I'm searching for a previous profile here. And I'm going to go back into this profile that was previously created. Again, everything stores as you see. I'm going to jump to compare plans. And I am going to send, well, let's just go through the enroll. So I click enroll. Now backtracking a little bit, once this enrollment form comes up, so where we got the error that the site is not live until 10/15, instead of seeing that, this is exactly what you would see. This is what the enrollment form looks like. If during SCP it's going to say, give you the SCP question, other, I'm new to Medicare, etc. The date you can choose. This information all pre-populates except for the gender. You do have to make the gender selection. Again, pre-populates for you. The physician you would actually input, so let's again just put Dr. Joe with the ID, existing patient, and then you continue through. Guess we got to go to November 1st now. Can't believe it's October already. Continue through. Next are the questions. So you would answer the ESRD, drug coverage, LTC, Medicaid, do you work, and language, and continue through. Next will be the Medicare information. So this is pre-populated only because I did this name before. But you would input this number, make the selection, and the question that gets asked here, of course, is does the system take the old and the new Medicare numbers? Yes, it absolutely does. So if you have any issues with that, just let me know, but I have yet to see it does take the old and the new. Paying your plan premium, of course, you make that selection there. Scrolling down, you continue through. Next will be the review page. So I want to back up 1 second because this is a test site. But in the real site, what happens is if there's a Medicare number that is input incorrectly, it's going to actually stop the consumer and tell them it's incorrect. So it's very dummy-proof and foolproof, so enrollments do not get submitted to the carrier with incorrect data. So a very helpful tip for that is, and kind of takes a little worry away from you all as agents, very foolproof. It checks the Medicare number to the last name of the consumer, making sure that that does match up. Once we get through that, again, you're just going to review the information, making sure everything's correct. And scrolling down once it unfreezes here. Once you review, you basically just go to the next page, which we'll see momentarily. So going through again, you complete the review. Once you complete the review, next is going to be the lovely 2 pages that you would see. So this is on an agent enrollment. The agent writes this in, completes this information, and then clicks continue. Now, if this were a consumer completing the information, there is 2 very, very simple selections. There's going to be 2 radio buttons listed basically right here. One's going to say I'm the consumer listed, or simply helping to complete. And then there's a secondary button that allows it to be a POA or etc. Now after that, there's one more thing the consumer does, and they would check the box that essentially says the same exact thing, serving as their digital signature, and then they would continue. Once they continue, there's going to be a couple things that happen. They're going to get a confirmation screen that allows them to view or print their enrollment. They're going to be provided with the next steps. Basically, the usual saying you're going to get your card information in the next 7 to 10 days, etc. The agent will be aware that now that Justin or Cal enrolled in the enrollment, and you can now also, as an agent, access that information. So I'm going to back out of here, go back to the enrollment. So we basically were done. Go back to View Dashboard. And we would search that information, again, just as we kind of just did. Click on Search. Find the consumer. So this is the one we used specifically. And then we can click Enroll History. Once we click Enroll History, we will then see, which we won't here because I'm not enrolled, you would see the plan that was enrolled in, the time, the date, etc. It will also have a little printer there which will allow you to save or print the enrollment copy yourself. So if you wanted to save or print that for your record, you can do such here. Going back, if you click on the consumer name, which you kind of just saw, you can update this information at any given time. Additionally, if you filter by incomplete to all, you'll always see everything you've done in the system. So for this specific consumer, you're going to see everything that was done. Now, if you wanted to add new notes or tasks, you would simply click the checkbox here and add those in. So Justin is going to that is wishful thinking, so I wish I was on a beach, not. Now we're going to get kicked out. And then a task. So we added the note, and for whatever reason we're getting last task. So I'm going to click on task. Give me one moment. Pardon my lovely computer. Okay. So we can add a task as well at any time. Give me 1 second. We're having issues, of course. So if we added that task, which we just added a note, but if you added a task, it will appear here as well. So if we add a task and go back to View Dashboard, you can track all of your open tasks in one location. So if you added that task, you're going to be able to see exactly how to track the information. You can put additional fields or whatever you want to put in that information. And then kind of have a to-do list daily if you choose to do such. So that is really Medicare Center at a really quick deep dive and how you kind of go through the process. I do have a recorded copy webinar as well, so I will gladly provide that to everyone to view at their own leisure and kind of refer to at any given time. But yeah, that is Medicare Center at a glance. So I will now open up to any additional questions and then go from there.
And questions do have to be typed in. I don't know if you can see them on your end because you have control of the screen.
So if you could relay them to mine, that would be great. I can see the chat box if people utilize the chat box, but not the questions.
Okay. Does it only show the companies that you're licensed with?
Yes, absolutely. So it only shows companies that you're licensed and appointed with an FMO under the Integrity platform. So if you have 5 contracts with GoldenCare and maybe a direct contract for whatever reason, you will only see the 5 contracts you have direct with GoldenCare, for an example.
Okay. And then, oh, I see here. I got to figure out how to read my box better here. If I have this service, can my assistant log in?
So yes, multiple people can be logged in at once. So a lot of people will have their assistant go in and start adding profiles and et cetera for them. Absolutely.
We got a great job, Justin. So thank you. That was a good job. Is this only for PDPs?
No, it's MA, MAPD, and PDP. Very limited med subs at this time. We're trying to get more med subs in the system as we speak.
How do you get a Medicare Center account?
You automatically are provided access. We have taken it upon ourselves to give you access already. So if you use the login credentials that we've provided, you should be able to access it. Now, keeping in mind the 2020 site is transitioning as we speak, so maybe give it till this afternoon, later tonight, or tomorrow, and you should be able to get into the new site.
And that, again, is for licensed and certified agents?
You are correct.
Or for anybody? Okay.
Licensed and certified.
Next question, same thing. How do we enroll? And I think that's all I can get to right now. So I want to thank you again, Justin. That was great. That is a great tool. And again, you saw the power of it with even GoldenCare last year.
Yep.
That's the reason they had such a big gain here. Our whole career shop was using it along with a bunch of our brokers. But this is an awesome tool. I know he went through it kind of quick. Hopefully you're more brushed up on PDPs than me because I was a little lost. But I loved it. What a great, awesome tool. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to GoldenCare. Justin is from Nishaw Fleming, and he did a wonderful job creating this tool, putting it together, and sharing it with all the integrity partners. I think that's it for me, except for thanking everybody again for getting on, and especially thanking Justin for taking time and doing this for us. It's a priceless tool.
Absolutely. Thanks again, everyone, and then we'll be in touch soon, and good luck and happy AEP.
Yeah, everybody. Let's have a great season.